Imagine your savings becoming worthless overnight. Sounds impossible? History says it's happened before, not once, but many times. In this video, I'll show you 5 asset types that survived complete economic collapses and reveal the everyday things that went to zero. Real stories, real lessons. This isn't theory, it's documented history. Stay with me till the end. We live in a system built entirely on trust. Money itself is just a promise. It's not magic, it's belief. When that promise breaks, values shift incredibly fast. Today, we'll travel through history together, short, powerful stories, to learn what tends to survive when everything falls apart and what disappears completely. This is knowledge for protection, not fear for panic. Understanding these patterns could change how you think about security. Let's begin this journey. Quick overview of what's coming. The 5 survivor groups are: first, real goods like food and tools; second, foreign money or hard currency; third, physical commodities like precious metals; fourth, skills and strong networks; and fifth, collectibles with real intrinsic value. We'll contrast each with things that went to zero: bank balances in local stocks, certain bonds, and worthless paper notes. Each part has a real story attached. Ready? Let's dive into survivor number 1. Picture Weimar Germany in the early 1920s. Inflation was so extreme that people literally used wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy bread. Money became wallpaper. Children played with stacks of worthless bills. But here's what mattered. A sack of flour still fed a family. A hammer still built shelter. Real goods, food, tools, farmland that produces crops, kept their value because they meet basic human needs. These are things you can touch, use, and consume. In any collapse throughout history, basics consistently outlive paper promises. Remember this pattern. Now, the flip side. What disappeared completely? Bank balances denominated in the collapsing currency fell to essentially zero. In the Weimar case we just discussed, people's entire life savings evaporated in months. Imagine working 30 years, saving diligently, only to watch it vanish. The critical lesson here is that if the currency itself collapses, those nominal bank numbers mean almost nothing unless they're backed by something tangible and real. Numbers on paper or screens need substance behind them. This is the harsh reality that millions have faced throughout economic history. Fast forward to modern examples: Lebanon and Venezuela. When their local currencies collapsed recently, suddenly US dollars became lifelines. Imports priced in dollars, foreign currency savings, these suddenly became the safe choice that preserved buying power. People who held strong foreign currency could still purchase necessities while others struggled. Hard currency survives catastrophic collapses because it's trusted globally, not just locally. It represents stability from outside the failing system. This geographic diversification of currency has saved countless families from total ruin. The pattern repeats across continents and centuries. But let's be balanced and honest here. Holding foreign currency isn't perfect either. It has real costs and complications. Access can be difficult, conversion fees add up, and legality varies significantly by country. Some nations restrict foreign currency holdings entirely. Think of it as one defensive layer in your strategy, not the whole solution or a magic guarantee. It's a tool with both benefits and limitations. The key is understanding when and where it makes sense for your specific situation, always staying within legal boundaries of your location. Let's jump to the 1970s. Oil shocks and runaway inflation hit hard. During this period, physical commodities like gold and oil became incredibly valuable. Gold doesn't promise income or dividends, but many people used it successfully as a store of value when paper money was losing purchasing power rapidly. Why?
Commodities are tangible. You can physically hold them. People assign them direct intrinsic value when money systems weaken or fail. They can't be printed infinitely like currency. This scarcity and physical reality gives them resilience during monetary chaos. However, commodities aren't risk-free either. We must be honest about limitations. They can be extremely volatile in price. Storage becomes a practical issue. Where do you safely keep gold or barrels of oil? Liquidity matters too. Can you actually sell quickly when needed? During some historical collapses, commodity prices spiked dramatically, but local access and practical usability determined how helpful they actually were for everyday survival. Sometimes physical gold couldn't buy bread if nobody would trade. Context and practicality always matter more than theory alone. Here's a powerful example that's often overlooked. Imagine a village blacksmith during an economic collapse. He may have lost all his currency savings completely, but he never lost his skill or reputation. His services remained desperately needed. Tools still broke and needed repair. Skills like medical care, mechanical repair, farming, carpentry, and strong local networks of trust often become the most valuable currency when official money fails entirely. This human capital can't be inflated away or confiscated easily. It travels with you and grows through practice and relationships. So how do you build this protective layer practically? Start with these concrete steps. Learn genuinely practical skills that help others. First aid, basic plumbing, electrical work, food preservation. Trade favors within your community to build reciprocal relationships. Invest time in building local trust and reputation consistently. Help neighbors and they'll remember. These are relatively low-cost and surprisingly high-impact defenses that don't show up on any bank statement or investment portfolio. They're invisible to financial crashes, but incredibly valuable when systems fail. Start small, build gradually, stay consistent. The fifth survivor category: certain collectibles with real intrinsic demand and utility. Not just decorative items, but things with lasting function. Examples include productive farmland, agricultural equipment, durable craftsmanship, quality tools. A vintage plow or a productive piece of farmland can still create value when paper wealth completely disappears. The key word is intrinsic. These items have value independent of any currency system. They do something useful or produce something needed. Beauty plus utility equals resilience. This combination has protected wealth across countless economic disasters throughout human history. Now let's examine what typically lost value catastrophically. Stocks tied directly to the collapsing local economy usually suffered worst. Companies dependent on the failing system collapsed too. Local bond holdings denominated in the dying currency became worthless paper. Currency-denominated contracts, pensions, insurance policies all lost credibility incredibly quickly when the underlying money failed. In many historical collapses, these financial instruments that seemed safe and sophisticated turned out to be completely dependent on the local fiat system. When that foundation cracked, everything built on it crumbled. The complexity offered no protection. Here's an encouraging real story. One family, during a major collapse, had split their wealth strategically. Some stored food and basic supplies, some held foreign currency outside the banking system, and they had invested years in developing practical skills and community relationships. They were far more resilient than neighbors who kept everything in local bank accounts or local stocks. This diversification meant mixing immediately useful physical things with financial items, not just chasing the highest returns only. Different asset types protected against different failure modes. No single strategy was perfect, but combined they created genuine security and options. Let's reframe how we think about risk entirely. Risk isn't just market movements or portfolio volatility. It's fundamentally about trust in systems and their fragility. Ask yourself this crucial question: What will people still desperately need if money weakens significantly or fails? If the honest answer is food, clean water, basic tools, medical care, and practical skills, then those specific things are worth prioritizing in your personal resilience plan. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition from history. Think in layers: immediate needs, medium-term security, long-term wealth preservation. Build outward systematically from the foundation. Let's close with a simple, actionable 3-step checklist you can start implementing today. Step 1. Secure basics first: food, clean water, and simple essential tools for several weeks minimum. Step 2. Build or meaningfully improve one genuinely practical skill: cooking from scratch, first aid, mechanical repair, or gardening. Choose what interests you.
Step 3. Consider placing a small portion of savings in globally trusted stores of value, where legal and practical for your situation. Remember, this entire video is about preparedness and understanding historical patterns, not fear or panic. Knowledge protects better than worry. I'll post the detailed long-form notes and historical sources in the description for deeper research. Subscribe for weekly, clear finance lessons. I work hard to make complex topics simple and actionable. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Stay prepared, stay calm.